just doing the practice in silence, which isn't the worst thing in the world. Once again, for those of you maybe joining us for the first time, Katie, I'm not sure if you came for a yoga class before, but you're somewhat familiar with Zoom. In gallery view, I've got two views. So I've got a straight on view here, which is the one that'll show by default. And then I've got an angled view. If you hop over to gallery view, or if you have a question or you're confused about something, you can just pop over there and see that, what is that, 3/4 angle. And we're gonna start seated today. The way we start normally. One of these days I'll start standing. And you all will be like, wait, what? Yeah, I don't know. Okay. Yeah, by the time I get far enough from the camera, there's not enough light. So I either need to move the camera forward and you'll see less, or bring lights in. But maybe I'll just keep bringing more and more equipment here. Who knows? Okay, I'm going to take a little drink of water. Okay. So from a seated position, I'm in easy pose. Actually, today I'm going to do something different. I'm going to do fire logs just because it's the pose that doesn't get enough love. So fire logs is ankle in line with shin. So shins in one line, basically. So they're stacked. And it's a nice precursor to lotus or half lotus. It's a nice half lotus prep. So if you don't have half lotus in your practice, it's a nice way to try and root that thigh down, that top leg thigh down into the floor. So just stacked one on top of each other, basically. The upper leg just below the knee is over top of the ankle below, and the ankle on top is just above or just below the knee below. If that's not comfortable for you, you can move back to easy pose, which is just locked at the ankles. If you'd like to go a little further, of course, you can come all the way up into half lotus pose, where we're tucking that heel in tight towards the hip. If you have it in your practice, you could come all the way up into full lotus. So wherever you'd like to be today. And let's start with some breath, shall we? So you can soften your eyes, close your eyes or soften your gaze. And see, that's too much for you today. A big part of yoga is knowing yourself, and that's too much. So half lotus for me. Okay. So we want to try and find some alignment in the spine, right? So we want to roll those shoulders down and back. Let's actually start with some shoulder rolls, shall we? So we can bring those shoulders up towards our ears with an inhale. And exhale, roll them down and back. Forward and roll them in and up. And exhale, down and back. 2 more. Inhale, forward. Shoulders up by our ears. Palms can just rest in our lap. Exhale, shoulders down and back. Let's switch directions. So inhale, shoulders back and up. Cross across the ears as they come forward. Exhale, forward and down. 2 more. Inhale up. Up across the ears, and exhale as they come forward and down. 2 more. Inhale up. I think my count's off, but that's okay. Exhale forward and down. Last one. Inhale up and exhale down. Since I did do one more exhale, let's inhale up, reverse the directions one more time. Bring the shoulders up towards the ears. Let's bring our spine into it. So this time we're going to kind of come as we exhale those shoulders down and back. With the exhale, let's lead with that heart. Pull that heart out. Coming convex with our abdomen. So as we roll forward and inhale, we'll come concave. All the way up into the ears and back. So see, if we're from the side, my spine's moving forward and backward. Hi, Jesse. Jesse's a little late there. That's okay. So forward and back as we come with our spinal flexation. So one more time as we inhale those shoulders up to our ears. Sending that heart out as we exhale down and back. And inhale as we roll those shoulders forward, come concave with the abdomen. Inhale those shoulders up towards the ears. Exhale them down and back. So we lead with the heart. One more time. Inhale, concave with the body. Send our shoulders forward. Inhale them all the way up to the ears. Exhale. Down and back. Really nice. So we're going to finish in that down and back pose. Let's switch our feet here. Switch our legs. So if you have one on top of the other, let's switch sides. So for me, that's left side on top now. Give us some balance here. Today we're going to focus on grounding. Focus on that root chakra, that base of us. Yeah, I want to talk some more about what that is. So still in a seated position. We can drop our chin towards our chest, again, keeping the eyes closed or slightly capping them, fuzzing our vision. We can place our palms, our fingers interlaced behind our head, relax those arms, let those elbows drop. We're not pulling here, we're just letting our fingers do the work, right? The weight of our hands. Pulling, stretching that neck. Shouldn't say pulling, just the weight, just deepening that stretch in the back of the neck. Still trying to stay upright with the spine. Don't come concave. Deep breath here. And exhale. This is all about yin. So mindful yoga, the way we practice it here, is a yin practice. So that means that we're allowing gravity to take the wheel here. So we can place it right palm flat on the floor. We can inhale our right shoulder, or right ear over our right shoulder. I hear some snaps, some pops, some cracks. Deep inhale here. Imagine inhaling just in that left lung, if you can see that in your mind's eye. Exhale, we roll back down to center. Palms up receptively on our lap. On the inhale, we'll take that left palm, put it flat on the floor, inhale that left ear over the left shoulder. Resisting the urge, that right shoulder is going to want to sneak up. Resist that urge, keep it down. And exhale down. Palms come back to the lap. Okay, we're gonna add a little more to this here. Right palms and fingers come down again. Left palm up. Our drishti, our yogic gaze, is in that left palm as we inhale that left palm all the way up. So my gaze is up into that left palm if you have that new practice. And I'm exhale, trying to go a little further, bringing that stretch not only to our spine, but to the muscles of the back. Ooh, I need this one. Just doing some yard work. And we use that, those trapezoids, those lats a little too much here. Exhale completely, and then inhale in your mind's eye, vision just that left lung. Our shoulders want to be stacked one on top of each other, and our gaze, our yogic gaze, our drishti can be straightforward or up into that left palm. So we want our elbow roughly over our shoulder over our base of our neck over our right shoulder over elbow. So roughly, it's though we're in one line here. If that left seat starts to come off the floor, back up a little bit. We're going to root that there. There's no stretch without rooting. One final stretch here, one final breath here. Make it the deepest yet. Tripping over my words today. Let's turn that left palm over. Exhale. We can let the left palm come down. Right palm comes up, opposite side. Inhale up. And walk those fingertips, the left hand out, stacking that elbow over shoulder, shoulder over base of neck over shoulder, shoulder over elbow. One long line, drishti up into that right palm, feeling that stretch in the right side body. Exhale. Deep inhale in the pose. Send that breath just to that right palm. And exhale. See if you can go a little further with the exhalation. Keep that right thigh and seat rooted. Deep inhale in that right lung. Use that stretch, that breath to stretch. I keep confusing those words, but I mean them to be the same. Use that breath to deepen the stretch, holding that breath at the top. And turn that right palm over. Exhale, come upright. Really nice. So 6 flexations of the spine, right? Forward, backward, side to side, and twist. So we've done 4 of them, forward, backward. We'll come back to them time to time again. Yoga practice isn't complete until we bend our spine in all 6 ways. So we did a little concave, a little convex, just to warm us up. Come back to that again. And now we're done from side to side. So from where you are, let's kick those feet straight out in front of us. Staff pose. So you notice I'm rocking from side to side. You can notice you can rock from side to side a little bit to widen your seat if you'd like to get a little firmer base. Reconnecting with that breath, rooting the back of that leg. This might be helpful if you're in that other view, that side view. Rooting the back of that leg into the floor, even if that means, like for me, to engage those muscles of the legs, actively pressing into the floor, my heels come up a little bit. That's okay. Finding stability. Want to be upright in the spine, you want to be concave, right? Nice, straight, upright. Hands upright in our lap or by our sides, whichever is more comfortable for you. This is a deceptively challenging pose. I always say this. Toes are up, full expression. Deep inhale into the belly. Filling the belly, filling the lungs. Then all the way up into the neck, even the head. Hold it. Let it out. All the way out. Pull that navel in towards the spine. Get it all out. Deep inhale. Like a glass of water, bottom to top. And exhale. All the way out. Don't hold on to any of it. You don't need it. All the way out. What are you holding on to? Deep inhale. Deepest yet. Top it off like you're smelling a delicious pastry. Hold it. And this time we'll take our arms all the way up. Seated volcano. Exhale forward. Seated forward fold. Letting that exhale make some space in the abdomen. So we can grab onto our calves, or we can work our hands down towards our ankles. Try to keep a flat spine here. So focusing less on bringing our forehead towards our legs, but bring our heart towards our thighs. So what that means is, again, lengthening that neck, leading with the heart, engaging with those biceps, pulling that front body towards those legs. If you want to walk your hands a little further down, if you can grip your toes, that's great. I'm kind of stiff in this today. That's okay. Noting that our flexibility and our balance changes every day, sometimes hour to hour. You can already grip your toes. You can walk them down to your heels. That's a bit much for me today. Noticing that, see if you can shift your weight in this pose. What I mean is, it's not so much of a movement, but depending on where you are, and I find this most easy to demonstrate if you're able to grab your toes. You can shift, almost point your toes forward, and you can shift this stretch into your upper back and shoulder. It's less in your hamstring, and it's really interesting while pulling back on the toe. That's definitely more in the back of the leg, the hamstring, and less in the upper shoulder and back. So find that balance for you. Where is it? Even if you can't reach your toes, we can engage more of the arms and find that stretch in the upper shoulder and back. See if you can find it. See if you can balance it. Where are you? Maybe you find you're a little more open in your shoulders or your back and you want to put it more there. Deep inhale. This will be hard to inhale here. We're compacted, but that's okay. Exhale, go a little further. If you can find space. Just letting your body, let gravity do the work here. Just hanging out here. We're getting comfortable. Deep inhale. Noticing how that inhale naturally backs us off the stretch a little bit. And as we exhale, we find more space. To maybe go a little further. Very nice. Gonna let go of that neck, let the chin rest towards the chest. Draping those fingers up our legs. Don't just do it as we feel it, as we align our spine, one vertebrae on top of another, coming to an upright seated position, back into staff pose again. Hands can be on our thighs or our knees. Really nice. Assist those knees up. From here, I'm going to turn to the side so that you all can see me. But if you're long ways on your mat, you should be fine. So from here, I'm going to keep my left leg straight. I'm going to lift my right leg and cross it over my left, planting that right foot flat down onto the floor. So I want to make sure all four corners of my foot, to the best of my ability, are on the floor. So when I mean all four corners, I mean just below the big toe, below the little toe, and both sides of the heel firmly placed on the floor. At the same time, I want to make sure that my glute is rooted to the floor. It's going to want to roll up. It's going to be hard. So try and root that glute towards the floor as well. Take that right hand, inhale it back. We can cross that left elbow across the knee if we're able to do that. And exhale, seated supine twist. So our fingertips can be upright or they can be down towards our toes for that left hand. And this is that 5th out of 6 flexation of the spine. Deep inhale. Just into that right lung. Imagine that. Exhale, try and go a little further. further into the twist. Try and keep straight in that right arm, but we don't need to lock it out. You can walk those fingers forward or backward, closer to your hips or farther away. Sending our gaze back over our right shoulder. See how far we can go. Relax. Engage in those all four corners of that right foot. Make sure that right glute is rooted. One more breath. See if you can go a little further. Ooh, yeah, really nice. All right, inhaling, those fingertips come up. We can wrap our arms around our right knee and bring that up into our chest for a little counter stretch there. And exhale. Go ahead and stretch out back in front of us. Back into staff pose again. Ooh, we're returning to staff pose. Rooted. Said we were going to work our root chakra today. Feeling grounded, feeling that connection to the mat, that floor. It can be challenging. One breath here, cleansing breath in and out. Inhale that left knee up, crossing it over the right. All four corners, I don't know if you can see that, all four corners of that foot flat on the floor. Counter twist here. Left hand goes behind us, fingers pointing backwards. Right elbow across the left knee. Deep inhale. And with the exhale, twist. That's 6 out of 6, folks. That's the basics. As long as you have all 6 flexations of the spine, whatever else you do, good to go. Ideally, you want to have some balance, some breath, some stretch, and maybe a little mental, for us, a little mental mindfulness, which we should have through all of the steps. Not just cranking into positions, not just forcing ourselves into asana, but being aware. Deep inhale, just in that left lung. It's nice and open. Exhale, see if you can go a little further. Send that drishti over that left shoulder. Playing with this pose, seeing how you can shift and change your muscles to move that stretch in different places. It's subtle. Okay, inhale, unwind here. Supporting yourself with that left knee. Bring that up towards the chest. Counter stretch. Exhale forward. Widening that seat again. Re-engaging the staff. Nice and tall. Upright. Upright. See how upright I am? Pretty upright. Deep inhale. Inhale his arms up. Exhale forward. Seated forward fold. Ooh, hoo, hoo. Good old Alan Watts there in the background. Continue to breathe here. I think that was Alan Watts. Maybe it wasn't. Okay. Drop that chin towards our chest. Inhale, rolling up the spine. One vertebrae on top of another. Imagine it. Like coins in a stack. Bring the slats of those feet in towards pelvis. I'm going to turn back this way so you can see. Coming to cobbler's pose. In cobbler's pose, we can wrap our first finger and thumb around our big toe if we'd like. We're going to try and draw those knees down towards the floor. That counter, that alternate view might be good as well. So you can see I got a little ways to go. All right, I got a little space there. That's okay. If that's a challenge for you, you can walk those feet a little further away from the body in order to draw those knees closer to the floor. If once you've got those knees a little closer, we can bring those heels closer to our pelvis again. Deep breath. Straight spine. Long neck, shoulders down. Exhale. Inhale. You already know what I'm going to ask. When you're ready, see if you can lower a little bit, trying to bring that heart towards our feet. Not so much our head towards the floor, but our heart towards our feet. Nice long neck, shoulders down and back. Inhale. Exhale a little further. Trying to keep that spine straight. This is one that I really love, cobbler's pose, because you can find a lot of success in this pose. Success is the wrong term. A lot of progress in this pose in a very short amount of time, even within a single asana. Deep breath. Into the belly. And the chest. Then the head. Exhale. Use that space. Go a little further. Maybe you relax your elbows on top of your shins. If you're ready to go further, you can go further. This is up to you. If you're not, if you want to back off or hold where you are, that's fine. Deep inhale with each breath in. Send that breath to those hip adductors. Those muscles that bring the legs together. That's what we're stretching primarily right now. Maybe your hands want to come flat on the floor. Walking those, you can inchworm those fingers forward as we exhale. Try and go a little further. Just hanging out here. Continue breathing in your natural pose here. Each breath in, visualize that coming down to that sensation in the inner thigh. Each breath out, sending that tension and stress from your inner thigh out with your breath. Find a little more space. Continue to breathe in and out, being very mindful of that breath and the way that it's connected to your muscles, sinews, and tendons right now. Last breath. So take a deep breath in. Send that breath all the way down. And exhale. See what you can do. Now, coming out of this, we want to be a little careful here. But take note. Open your eyes if they're not already. And take note how close you are here. Look at this. You didn't think you'd get this far, I bet. Some of you, maybe. It's pretty darn good. So we can bring that chin towards our chest, visualizing in our mind's eye those vertebrae stacking one on top of each other as we slowly come back up. Being mindful of those muscles in the inner thigh that we just stretched. Come all the way upright. Chin's the last thing to come up. And we can scoop those knees up. Woo, bringing some fresh blood back in those legs, straightening them back out. In the staff pose, rooting the back of the leg against the floor. One more time, nice and tall. And with the exhale, seated forward fold, coming a little lower. Really nice. And inhaling, the chin comes to chest, rolling up our spine. Fingers drape our legs all the way up. What's that feel like? And spinning around on our mats to come into a tabletop position. Knees under hips. Palms under our elbows. Bottom root of our hand under the elbow. Elbow under the shoulder. And gazing back between our legs, we want to move our feet so we cannot see our heels. So that they're in one line. So our heels are in line with our ankles, ankles in line with our knees, knees roughly in line with our hips. Root, base of the hand, lower portion of the hand in line with the elbow. If you feel pressure or tension on your wrists, you can walk those fingertips a little farther forward, actively engaging outside the mat, pressing up into the mat. It's a powerful pose. Flat back here. Let all that breath out. Inhale, let that belly droop. Head goes the opposite direction. Let that belly droop. Pelvis tilts back. Deep inhale into the belly. Jaw goes slack. Gaze can go straight up to the ceiling. Exhale. Countering this pose, tilting the pelvis up. Bring the chin to the chest. Press up through the arms and the spine. Convex with our spine. Pressing out. Inhale, down through table. Letting that belly droop, coming back into cow. Cat-cow flow here. Moving through a couple of breaths, moving your own speed as much as you need to. Inhaling into cow, exhaling up and back into cat. And maybe you want to bring some fluidity to this stretch. In other words, maybe on the inhale, you want to shift your weight a little further over the palms of your hands. And on the exhale, maybe you want to send your seat back over your heels. So you kind of come into a wave motion with the spine. Maybe you want to switch directions. Inhaling as we send our seat back. Scooping forward, feeling that stretch move all the way down the spine. Exhaling up, whichever works for you. Maybe you want to stay static. You've got a place you want to work. That's up to you for 2 more breaths. Do what you need. And when you're finished, meet me back in a neutral spine, tabletop. Re-engaging with the floor, full expression of the fingers. That's all 5 fingers out nice and wide. Full expression. Engage on the floor, not locked out in your elbows. Re-engaging that tabletop. Exhale that breath in a neutral spine. Inhale just into that right lung. Imagine that. And exhale, send our gaze around our left shoulder to see if we can catch sight of our left heel. Yeah, crescent stretch with our spine. Pinching in the left side where the rib cage meets the hip. Now without moving, without changing this position, just breathe into that right lung. Exhale, go a little further. Inhale once more in the pose. And exhale, come back to center. Tabletop pose. Inhale. Imagining it's just going in that left lung. Exhaling. Send that gaze over the other side. Around that right shoulder. Crescent stretch opposite side. See if we can catch sight of that right heel. Inhale in the pose. See how that breath changes the pose. Careful not to sink into your shoulder. I just was. I was kind of sinking into my spine here. Press up and engage with that right arm. Exhale. See if you can go a little further. Inhale just into that left lung again. And exhale, come back to center. Okay, great. How are we doing? Everybody still live? Great. Let's turn those heels over. Turn those toes over. Send those hips sky high, up and back. Downward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Just like tabletop, if we gaze back through our legs, we want to make sure that we cannot see our heels. So I'm looking straight back. I want to rotate my feet so that my heels are hidden behind the ball of my foot. We can walk those heels down, pressing them into the mat. Maybe you want to pedal them out, one leg then the other. That's up to you. Connecting with the breath. Remember your breath. Are you holding your breath? Are you breathing quickly and shallowly? Come nice up and high. Nice up and high. Yeah, sure. On the toes. Inhale. And rock down both heels. Sending those heels down towards the floor. Drawing those heels towards the floor. Feeling that stretch one more time in the back side body. Walking those hands back towards the feet. Coming into a forward fold here on the back of our mats. Let it hang out. Maybe a little micro bend in the knee. We don't want to lock that knee out. So the way I like to describe this is if you bend your knee, if you place your hand on your quad, you can kind of see, I'm not sure if you can see, this is a hyperextended knee. This is an overextended knee. It has kind of a bow to it. But if we bend just slightly into that knee, how slightly? Well, if you put your right hand on your quadricep, just above your knee, and you bend, you should feel that kneecap almost pop right into place. That's all you need to stretch, just so that your muscles are engaging with your legs. We're not hanging on our skeletons, right? So overextended, I don't know if you can see it, watch. That's it. Any deeper, and I'm robbing myself of a nice stretch here. So hyperextended, just engaging there. Right, it's a little micro bend. And we can let go of that hidden neck, let those ears fall between the shoulders. We can cross at the elbow if we'd like. Swinging side to side. Just letting gravity do the work. Deep breaths here. Just Feeling that stretch, not only in the hamstrings, but the upper back, shoulders. And exhaling, bending in the knee as much as you need to bring your palms flat on the floor. We're going to walk those palms over to frame our left foot. And then straightening back into the legs as much as you're able. This is going to feel a deeper stretch on that left foot right now. Or that left hamstring, I should say. Deep inhale. Exhale, swing those arms back to center. And inhale in the pose. Bending into those knees. Exhale, twist to frame that right foot. Just bending into that knee as much as you need to get that to get those hands framed on the floor. Exhale, swing back to center. Inhale in the pose. Exhale, see if you can go a little further with that space. And we're going to walk forward into a nice high plank. So in our plank pose here, we want to push our weight back over our heels. If you have a mirror, that's helpful because we don't want to be drooping our bellies. It can hurt our lower backs. We don't want to stick our butts up in the air. Nice flat back, like replace a glass of water. Hold on here. Pressing up out of the shoulder. Turn to sink into the shoulders. Nice and tall, long necks. You've got this. Hold it. Still breathing. This is a difficult pose. Building some heat. On the exhale, pull that navel in towards the spine. Deep inhale. That breath will help you here, strengthening that core, bending into those elbows. Chaturanga, slow as you can. Drop towards the mat. Slow as you can, slow as you can. All the way down, really nice. Let those backs, those feet fall against the floor. A little restorative pose here. It's got to be restorative stretch though. So from here, I'm going to lead with my left hand, place my left hand right in the center of my body. Fingers are full expression, pressing it up. Pressing that, inhale that right arm up. And exhale, thread the needle. I'm going to bring that right hand through that space created by my elbow and body. Thread the needle. And then I'm going to exhale, extending that left arm and relaxing my body on top of that arm. Feeling that stretch in the pectoral and the outside of that shoulder. A few deep breaths here. One more deep breath here. If you're able to, see if you can stretch that left fingers forward just a little bit more. Inhale that left palm back. Preparing to take weight there. Inhale. We come all the way up, so that right arm all the way up. Exhale, that right hand comes down to replace the left. It comes right in the center of the body again. We exhale, inhale, that left arm up. Thread the needle opposite side, so that left arm comes down in between that space created by our arm and our body. Exhale, we can walk those fingers of the right hand forward as we fold down on top of that left arm. This is an intense stretch. One of my favorites. But be mindful, be aware of yourselves. Only do as much as you're able to. In fact, right now, that's feeling strange for me. So if it's feeling strange there, I think actually my arm is a little too far back towards my body. I'm just lifting up so I can move that left arm a little closer to the front of my mat. Two more breaths. Exhale that breath. Get it all out. Inhale, that right palm comes just under the face, pressing up through that right hand. We can bring that left and that right hand up. We come into cobra. Nice and tall, bending those elbows as much as you need to. You don't need to crank up into this pose. Just feeling that stretch in the lower body. Deep breath into that lower back. Neck's nice and long. Don't sink into the shoulders. Nice and long. And exhale, let's come down to our forearms, coming into Sphinx pose. In Sphinx pose, this is over exaggerated, but in Sphinx pose, I'm drawing forward. So I'm moving in this direction in order to sink into this pose to move that stretch up into my mid back. So in Cobra pose, we're in that lower back. In Sphinx pose, we can engage that mid back around thoracic 7, I guess, T7. Middle bottom of the shoulder blade. Nice long neck. And deep inhale here. And exhale, we can bring that face down to the floor. Hands can go to either side. Couple restorative breaths here. Turning those toes over. And pulling those hands up just under our shoulder blades. Prepare for one press up. So we're engaging, sending those heels back. Putting those hands just under our shoulder blades, tucking those elbows in tight by our sides. Deep breath in. Long necks. And with the exhale, press up into plank. Really nice. Very nice. Nice and tall. Send those hips up, widening the legs. We're back in downward dog. Walking those legs out slightly if we like. Drawing those heels towards the floor. Taking note of how this stretch is different right now than it was maybe before, if it is. Deep inhale. On the exhale, bend into those knees and let them hover over the mat. Hovering table here. So my knees are not touching. We're hovering right over the mat, nice and tall. Engage those abs. Deep breath. You got this. If you feel a bit of pressure on your wrists, you can walk those fingertips forward slightly. Just hovering. 2 more breaths. Deep inhale. You got this. Last breath. On the exhale, let those knees come down. Turn those toes over. Fold those legs behind you. Chin comes to our chest as we walk those hands back towards our knees. Roll up through the spine. Cobbler's pose. So we can straighten those legs out in staff, but it's just a transition to move to center ourselves on our mats. And once we're ready, we can place those feet flat on the floor, knees at about a 45-degree angle, knees facing the ceiling. And we're just gonna exhale, hands up, slow as you can, kind of like a reverse crunch. Slow as you can. Continue breathing. So bring those shoulders down towards the floor. Ooh, your feet are gonna want to come off the floor, engage those abs. Closer you get, slower you move. All the way down, roll through that spine. Head's the last thing to come down. Once on the mat, we can inhale those knees up towards our chest, wrapping our arms around it. Cannonball pose. We can rock from side to side here, pulling those knees in towards our elbows, or our armpits, I should say. Reaching down to wrap those fingers around the big toe. We can rock from side to side. Happy baby pose. We can widen those feet. Pull those kneecaps once more down and back in towards the floor, towards the our armpits. We can rock from side to side here. If you'd like, maybe you like straighten one leg, straighten the other. Maybe you can rock from side to side or forward and backward, feeling that massage against the floor. And then that head remain flat. Gaze straight up towards the ceiling. Eyes can be closed if you'd like. And moving our hand grip down to our ankles, we can exhale the soles of the feet together. Pressing the hands up, releasing the legs, pressing the hands up to a diamond position. So our forefingers and thumbs are in a diamond position, straight up as we exhale, slow as we can. Keep those soles, those feet engaged, working those hip adductors or abductors rather than adductors. Exhaling those hands down above the head, bending into the elbow, slow as you can, hovering over the mat, and relax as we reach the floor. Triple diamond pose. Triple diamond pose because we create one with our fingers and thumbs, another with our elbows, and the last with our knees open to the ground. Deep breath. Exhale and sweep those arms down by our sides. Inhale, we can assist those legs to come upright. Walk those heel toe, those feet out a little bit so the knees can naturally fall together. We can bring our hands to our sides or our palms to our heart and belly. That's where I like to go. Left hand over the heart, right hand over the belly so I can feel that respiration with my right hand and maybe get a sense of my pulse with the left. So we don't want our legs too wide because we're going to inhale with those knees upright, relax those shoulders down towards the floor. We're going to inhale with our knees upright and exhale, let both of those knees fall over to the left. Feeling that stretch one more time, that supine twist, reclined supine twist this time. Inhale those knees back up. Exhale, both knees go over to the left side. Ooh, ooh. Just letting gravity do the work. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. Just windshield right, bring those legs back and forth. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. Next few breaths, we're going to bring this into our full spine. We're going to inhale those knees up. We're going to exhale those knees to the left. We can tee our arms out to the side if we'd like and send our gaze or drishti into that right palm. So our head's looking towards the right. We feel that stretch in the neck and the upper back. Our knees are to the left. Inhaling up. Our gaze is towards the ceiling, just like our knees. Exhaling those knees to the right. We twist, feeling that stretch in the mid and upper back and neck as our left, as our eyes and our gaze, our head come to face our left palm. Reclined supine twist. Inhale up. Exhale, knees to the left, head to the right. Finding that stretch, finding that rhythm with your own breath. Inhale up. Exhale down. One last time, inhale up. This time, I'm going to ask you to bring your knees towards your chest and then straighten up through the leg like you're trying to walk on the ceiling. We're trying to press the soles of our feet straight up against the ceiling and walk on the ceiling. That might be a challenge, but we're trying to stay straight-legged here, engaging in the abs. Deep breath. Exhale as we drop those legs slow as we can, trying to keep that back, that lower back flat on the floor. If you lose all your breath, inhale again. Inhale and pause with the legs. Exhale and drop. Straight legs. Legs zippered together. Back flat on the floor. Pause and inhale. And exhale, come a little further. How you doing? Hold on. The closer we get to the floor, the harder it is. Inhale one last time before we reach the floor. All the way in. Biggest inhale yet. Exhale. Oh, slow, slow, slow. Hover, 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 and relax. We find ourselves in corpse pose just automatically. So in corpse pose, legs are zippered together. We can let those toes fall out to either side if we'd like. Palms up receptively. If we like, by our sides, we can draw our shoulders down by trying to reach with our pinky toe down towards our heel on one side, then the other. Kind of move from side to side. Drawing the shoulders open and down. Slowing down our breath. you'd like, you can return those palms as long as your elbows are still flat on the floor so you can relax them. You can return that left palm to our heart, right palm to our belly if you'd like. Moving into our final asana, Shavasana or corpse pose. Connecting with the floor. Letting our bodies cool down, reflecting on the work that we've done today. Staying active in the mind. If we feel our mind, our thoughts start to drift off somewhere, as they often do, try to stay engaged with your thoughts, with your mind, with your sensation of the right here and right now. For me, what's most prevalent is my mid-back pressing against the mat, being supported by the floor, my hips, the vibration of my voice in my abdomen, I can feel with my left hand, rise and fall of my belly with my other hand. The sound of the air in the room, the air handling system, I guess. Just being curious, and if you find your thoughts drifting off, gently bring them back. That's okay. There'll be a time for those other things. Returning to the sensation of here and now, whatever they are for you. And remaining in this pose as long as you need to. It's feeling the rise and fall of your belly. The relaxation of the spine. It's Good Friday for those of you that celebrate. A time in the Christian faith that believers and worshipers celebrate, or I guess honor, sacrifice. Sacrifice is a strange word for me. I think of sacrifice as giving up something, which I guess it is, but I think of it as restrictive. But I guess the other side of sacrifice is the reason why, the gift. What are you sacrificing? I think whether we know it or not, we all sacrifice. We sacrifice our health for pleasure. We sacrifice our time. I think my challenge for you, or my goal for you, would be to become more mindful of those sacrifices that we make every day. Oftentimes, depending on your faith or your spiritual path, folks will fast spiritually. They'll abstain from eating, and that's a form of sacrifice. I just think often about the sacrifices we make without realizing it. I know as a lot of us are home or stuck inside, we can end up sacrificing our health, our happiness, our wellness, our yoga practice to something else. And I would argue, what is that? Sometimes sacrifice is necessary when it's a gift and it gives options for others or for yourself. Sacrificing something in the here and now for something more improved in the latter is honorable. I may sacrifice and not have that extra slice of cake at dinner, knowing that my body will be happier and healthier. But when our schedule's different or our time is different, we end up sacrificing our yoga practice or sacrificing our fitness, sacrificing our relationships. Maybe that's not so good. So my challenge to you for the remaining few moments of our Shavasana would be to reflect on, what are you sacrificing? Intentionally, unintentionally? Not making a judgment there, not making a need to change any of those things, just becoming aware of them. As we continue to breathe into the nose and out through the mouth, feeling ourselves rooted and grounded against the floor. Root chakra is where sacrifice is engaged. Safety, security, wellness, family, protection. It's at the very bottom, and we feel it struggling sometimes. The best thing to do is find the floor. So on our next breath in, attempt to find your base, physically or figuratively. What is your base chakra? What is your root, your foundation? What is that you can return to when you're feeling insecure or unsure, unsafe? As we breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. And when you're ready, let's try to find an awareness of ourselves in this room, in this space once again, bring a little movement into the body by way of the face, or the fingers, or the toes, deepening our breath. Letting our breath guide us when we're ready up to an upright and seated position. It's been a pleasure today to be with you in this practice. I am very grateful for your dedication and for your attendance today. And so we're going to finish today's class the way we traditionally finish every class, by saying namaste, meaning the highest power in me, or the light in me honors that highest power and light in you, and it truly does. So thank you and namaste. Hope to see you next week. If you have any questions, I'll be hanging around for a couple of minutes. If you have any questions or concerns about any music I played or any of the poses we did today, or any parts of the meditation that you have thoughts about, you can hop on the chat window, or you can turn your microphones on and just talk in person. If that's it for you today, it is 5:01 by my watch. So have a wonderful Friday, rest of your day. Have a wonderful weekend, and I hope to see you back here next Friday for Mindful Yoga with Stephen. Bye-bye.